Do you remember this? Before we begin, please note, this video includes discussion of chronic illness, hidden disabilities, mental health challenges, and instances of abuse. Your discretion is strongly advised.
Yes, the caption is correct, but hear me out. If you live in this world and not under a rock, you'll realize that things have changed. From social media to the world at large, things are changing rapidly. And with that, inflation, finances, not being able to afford things. So I cannot afford doing this anymore.
Well, finances weren't the real reason I stopped. Let's talk about it. I'm Zana Monique, and this is the brand new Loc'd Chronic. Let's get to it. So, of course, it was let's have a chat before, and I stopped everything last year. The biggest reason why, and yes, finances was a big part of it, but it was not the main thing. It was fear and trepidation. But you may be asking, fear? Why? From what? I was fearful of how my content is being perceived. And I need to go back a little bit in order to come forward. When I had Let's Have a Chat, a couple years ago, more than 2 years ago, I was great. I had a really hard time for obvious reasons. I could not function. I was fearful of being outside, lest I run into the person. I was fearful of even doing my 9 to 5. It was really hard. It still is. It's like if someone violates you and your space, in your space, obviously you're going to feel away. Anyway, Let's Have a Chat has always been a means for me to not only reach out to people and help others, but in an essence, it would help myself as well. And therefore, I would talk about my circumstances, but use them in a way that would help others. People would learn, and people ended up reaching out to me, even like, for instance, on TikTok, I have over 5,000 followers there, and people reach out to me. They were reaching out to me even more than when I was more active. But even in doing that and telling my tale in a way that would be more comforting to those who have gone through what I've gone through, even that became a problem. I felt as if a cloud was constantly covering me, as if someone was looking over my shoulder, trying to tell me how I should be, how I should feel, what I did and did not deserve. And unfortunately, it was coming from all sorts of directions. And I will just leave it at that. Ultimately, I ended up feeling as if I needed to stop so that I would not be a problem to everyone else. And that is sad. It is sad when you live in this world and you're trying to be you, and being you isn't enough. Especially when you want to be helping people and you want to try to better yourself as well as everyone else around you. But that isn't what matters. And that isn't what fits into society. And then you feel the need to stop. And therefore I did. I came to a point where I felt as if there was no use for anything that I would be doing or wanted to do. The idea of wanting to create a business from this and still be able to help people, still be able to help my family and myself, got thrown by the wayside. And therefore, by the end of last year, I was like, okay, this makes no sense anymore. I'm going to close down not only YouTube as I did earlier in the year, but I will close down the Instagram, the TikTok. I will stop posting as much and all of that. And gradually, I stopped doing all of that until the beginning of this year. The 1st of January, something just came to my mind after praying about this whole thing and how I was going to just stop everything. I got the inspiration to focus on something else that I also loved, that is inherently me, that is completely different, that I don't have to tell anybody else about. And if it kicked off, well, good, but it hopefully wouldn't be something that's ridiculed yet again, and that another side of me wouldn't be ridiculed. And thus Bajans Pun De Net started. That was the beginning of this year. That was the 2nd of January. Right now, it is 7 months later. And I have almost 16.k followers. And it's only that now because it slowed down because I was unwell, and I will get into that in subsequent episodes. But yeah, I got all of that in that short space of time, and no one really knew about that and could then say, oh, but you shouldn't be doing that, and look at what you said. There is nothing like feeling as if what you say does not matter. Who you are as a human being doesn't matter, even though you're not out there doing the horrible things that are going on in the world right now. So yeah, all that time had flown, and then I was working through the masking and feeling a bit better, being able to push through my 9 to 5 and things. And I then got very ill in the February, March, somewhere around there. Ended up having to have a sigmoidoscopy because I was bleeding from my back passage. I was in excruciating pain. For then the doctors to say I have adhesions, which means that when I had my hysterectomy, that area fused on to my colon. So that's my problem. And then hemorrhoids. Like, yay, hemorrhoids. I had kids, then had hemorrhoids. So yeah. But still, it didn't really completely explain anything. But yeah, that happened. And I started to feel the need to share that story again, because this is where I get my inspiration. Things happen with me. And I figured, you know what? Let me research the thing. And then if I can't find much about the thing, then I said, well, why don't I put out some content on the research I did find so that it can help other people? Because why not? We could be that person that makes life easier for another person, to help in that way. I have always chosen to be that person from the time I was about 7, 8 years old. But yeah, I got that urge to do this again, and fast forward to now. And recently I went through a sick leave that really left me in trepidation yet again, because my body, it bodies. And I had a number of things at the same time. I had a bad fibromyalgia flare, which I'm still trying to navigate, by the way. My kidneys started flaring up, therefore I needed procedures at the hospital. And terrible MDD with ideation and things. And then at the same time dealing with back home with an aging mother who has dementia, and thinking about an aging dad who has Parkinson's. And it's like, it's hard. But I've had to internalize it for so long, and then I burnt out. I would always try to push through, but then I started thinking about the fact that I am literally aging, as we all are, but I'm at the time of my life where that would kind of zoom ahead. Think about watching a video and watching it like ×2 or ×5. I'm at that stage of my life where things just zoom all of a sudden, and I had to maneuver the masking, maneuver how people see me or not see me, and feeling anxious about how I may be perceived. And then I decided, you know what? I need to get back to me in some way, shape, or form. I need to get back to helping people and reaching out properly and doing the videos and things. I need to get back to the purpose that I felt blessed with, to help others, to make it a business, to help those back in Barbados, in the Caribbean, and the wider diaspora. Because goodness knows in the Caribbean, and most especially in Barbados, we've had our share of not dealing with chronic illness and mental health and all of that. And I'm a product of that. And I did not want to be in this country and just, come into myself and let me just have people point at me and say, oh, you're too much, or what foolishness are you doing, or but you should say this and that. This is my story. This is my purpose. And my purpose isn't about just me. My purpose is about helping others And not only people that look like me, everyone. So I then took the leap to rebrand because of the anxiety I had. I still have trepidation. Yes, it rains. I decided to rebrand. And it came to me just like that, Loc'd Chronic. And of course, there's a quip in it, is LOC''D' chronic, because I'm Xana. I mean, I do things that way, but forgive me as I sweat because it is hot. It's hot. Because I'm in my mid-50s, so I'm allowed. Rebranding was it. Rebranding was the way to help me get over or navigate the trepidation of people finding my stuff again and pinpointing me and saying that you shouldn't say this and why are you doing that. And I need my life, and I want you to have your life and be self-assured in your life, to be okay in your chronic illnesses, in your mental health, your physical health, your hidden disabilities. I want you to feel okay with that, feel okay about talking about your stuff. And this is my why. And so I am back, not because it's all to do with my illnesses, but I want to find a way to reach out to you. If you feel this way as well, you feel trepidation, you feel if you can't represent yourself, you have a voice, you know. It's just that you may feel as if you can't use it, but you do have a voice. So I want to make sure that you feel confident in knowing about what's going on with you, representing yourself at the doctor or amongst your friends, your family, even in your workplace or anywhere else. You matter, and what you have to say matters. What you've gone through matters. You are important. As I tell myself this every day when I forget, remember, you matter. Let me know if you've gone through anything like this where you felt as if you just had to shut everything down because people were busy pinpointing you, or people find your stuff, or people misread you, or whatever. You feel like zero. Let me know in the comment section, and let's talk through this together as I hit the ground running. Let me do this.